All right, thank you for joining me here on this lovely Thursday afternoon. The time is now 3:32 p.m., and you are watching the start of a potential severe weather outbreak here today. I'm not going to say that it's going to be one right off the bat, but I'm saying that things are looking pretty promising here for that potential. We're seeing a lot of thunderstorms already entering the DFW Metroplex here, specifically on the north side. We've had several severe thunderstorms today impact parts of North Texas. If we play back the radar loop here, you can see we had a pretty impressive supercell earlier near Graham, Texas, that produced some large hail and damaging winds, and even was rotating a little bit, and that's going to kind of be the trend that we see today. We're going to see large hail and damaging winds be more of a widespread threat, while tornadoes are going to be more isolated in nature. However, the Storm Prediction Center has issued a 5% risk of a tornado within 25 miles of any given point for the areas in this brown shaded color. This includes Big Spring, Texas, through Snyder, Texas, Sweetwater, Texas, and Abilene, Texas. Outside of that is the 2% risk, the area where you have a 2% chance to see a tornado within 25 miles of any given point, and that includes a good chunk of western Texas here as well. Damaging wind and hail threats are both at a 15% today. Alright, in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen, we've got a live look at Storm Under Media, as they are actually chasing the winter storm part of this system. Alright, we've got a ton of severe weather down in parts of Texas, but we're also seeing some snow, and heavy snow actually, as well as some damaging winds into parts of New Mexico and Colorado. In fact, blizzard warnings have been issued for northeastern New Mexico here for the first time in the state this year. We have got some damaging winds, and we are expecting several areas of snow accumulations to get to a few feet even. So, again, things are looking pretty concerning here for that threat over the next little while, so we'll continue to watch that as it progresses. But for right now, again, we're kind of honed in here on the severe weather threat. Even though there's not a whole ton of stuff going on, it is going to be quite interesting to watch here, I think. Again, we've got ourselves some not impressive, but some somewhat impressive looking supercells here trying to make their way through the north side of the DFW Metroplex. And again, we're also going to see some more of these storms pop off further to the west here that could become severe quite quickly as well. The Storm Prediction Center actually did have earlier today a Mesos Discussion mentioning that there was a 40% chance of a severe thunderstorm or tornado watch. They did not end up issuing that yet. I wouldn't completely rule out the possibility of it. They did keep the slight risk of severe weather at the most recent SPC update, but we're going to watch things, okay? So, actually, we can see right now, I believe that is, I guess they're both out there right now, actually, in the snow. On, again, Storm Under Media's stream, they're throwing snowballs there at the windshields. That's pretty funny. But, again, you can see all that just above my face cam here, so make sure to check that out every now and then, because, again, they've honestly got some really impressive footage here from today. One thing to note is that we do have a little bit of rotation over Highway 81 southeast of Decatur, Texas, that has been trying to develop over the last few minutes. If we look, this storm does have a little bit of what could be an inflow notch here, and what that means is that we've got winds going into the storm in this direction, and it kind of creates this little dent in the storm, and sometimes that is indicative of rotation, so watch out for that. What's up, Mr. Storm? Thank you, I appreciate it. Yeah, we tried to tidy up the layout here a little bit. Again, I could have done a better job with the cropping on the stream above my face, but I think outside of that, things are looking pretty decent, honestly. So I'm pretty happy with all that. So again, right now this supercell is northwest of New Fairview, Texas. So we'll watch that, but for right now, that's one of the main impressive things we have to watch. If we go ahead and take a look at the ARRR model here, we can see that we are expecting supercells to become more prevalent over the next hour or so. By 4 p.m., look at this. These are going to be some big-time thunderstorms down here in the portions of west central Texas, San Angelo, Abilene, Brownwood, and more thunderstorms will continue in North Texas all the way into parts of southern Oklahoma, but that'll mainly just be a flooding threat at that point, likely. And then by 5 p.m., I think that's whenever the tornado threat will peak here, again, somewhere around Abilene in this general vicinity, according to the ARRR model. But 6, 7, 8 p.m. could also bring an isolated tornado threat again, as well as damaging winds and large hail. And I actually think that damaging winds could become a big thing overnight here. 10, 11 p.m. things continue here with a lot of heavy rain. By 1 a.m., this is the look. For 1 a.m., this is not what you would usually be seeing, but I mean, here you have it, folks. We've got a big cluster of thunderstorms here in North Texas, stretching all the way back down into the San Angelo region. Some thunderstorms back into portions of the panhandle of Texas, some thunderstorms weaker, I'll admit, back into parts of Kansas even, but things are definitely going to come quite interesting later tonight. And again, we do have a live cam here near Abilene, Texas, that should actually provide us with some great shots of today's storms, luckily. So Again, we're going to have quite a day ahead of us, and we will have multiple streams out today, so this one will be relatively short, but I did just want to quickly start this stream here to kind of go over the severe threat for today, but also update you guys on Hurricane Raphael. So if you're not aware, yesterday Hurricane Raphael made landfall in Cuba, and had a massive, massive bust of a tornado threat into the Florida Keys there. I don't think that we saw any tornado warnings, if I'm correct. And luckily, it shouldn't cause too many more problems to the United States. I do think some heavy rain across parts of the Gulf may be possible, but other than that, it should be fine. Alright, sorry about that. So, again, we're watching Raphael here to potentially make some sort of impact on the Yucatan Peninsula now. The Bay of Campeche here, alright, could be pretty interesting for the next several days here in terms of rainfall totals especially. But, again, we are expecting the storm to lose strength as this is a very high wind shear environment, which is part of the reason we're seeing this severe weather here into Texas. But hurricanes do not like wind shear if you're not aware, so that's going to hopefully kill this. What's up, Lucy? Thank you for tuning in. So again, hopefully that'll kind of gradually kill Hurricane Raphael here. And again, things are already starting to look much less impressive on the satellite. Again, the reason it's fading away isn't because of weakening. It's because the sun's starting to set. But it's just looking less impressive in general, in my opinion. And that trend is going to continue. And again, originally we were concerned about maybe a Florida Panhandle landfall. And then it turned into, maybe a Louisiana or a Texas landfall. And now we're not really expecting any sort of United States landfall at all. Maybe not even any landfall at all. It might honestly weaken below tropical storm status before it makes any sort of landfall. So that would be the best case scenario there. That's what the National Hurricane Center is saying right now. So you'll turn redirect on, hover over the video that you want to redirect from, edit, click customization, click add. Here, let's see. Studio. So for right now, we'll go back to our Dallas-Fort Worth storms. And not looking too impressive, but... And apparently we did have a flash flood emergency earlier today, by the way. Okay, give me just a sec here. I'm going to see if I can figure this out using my noggin. We're 99 days away from Summit. Yes, I will be at the Storm Chaser Summit, so if you see me, feel free to say hi. Don't be shy. I like to think that I'm a pretty normal person in real life, so. Give me one moment. Again, I'm trying to figure out this redirect thing. So, let's go to Edit, Customization, Redirect. So yeah, I know how to do that, but I didn't know if I had to turn on my redirects so that people could send other people to my stream. I wasn't sure about all that. But I guess for right now, we'll just go ahead and throw a Storm Runner Media stream. Oh, that's... Okay, yeah, we'll throw a Storm Runner Media stream in there. In the redirect position for right now. Mr. Storm will definitely not be, will not be shy. Alrighty. Yeah, it could happen. Again, we could see anywhere from severe weather to a winter storm. I mean, it's Kansas City in February. It's going to be so unbelievably unpredictable. By the way, red flag warnings, again, for most of New England, the Mid-Atlantic region, and that's because you guys have not seen rain, and some of these spots you have not seen rain in months, quite literally. So, you gotta make sure that you're staying away from burning things. Make sure that if you have an open flame, make sure that you have it 100% contained. So again, this is just Mr. Storm's region here that we're looking at, but if we go ahead and take a look at this area here, we've got west winds with gusts up to 30 miles per hour and humidity down to 27%, temperatures up to 67. So it's not like peak fire conditions, but it is quite concerning. If we go further down to the south here, we're probably going to see some more intense conditions here, I'd imagine. So yeah, actually, yeah, I guess it's about the same, kind of all across New England here. But, again, if you're wondering what this is above my head, if you're new here, or if you haven't been here for the last couple streams, we now have, Storm Hunter Media has given us permission to use his feed here whenever he chases. That was pretty awesome of them, so I appreciate that, DL and Garrett. So I wouldn't be shocked to see these Dallas storms get one final severe thunderstorm warning here before they kind of die out, hopefully. And it looks like that's a good possibility that they die out, by the way. Not a lot sustaining them at this point. But, forgot how to run redirect on, that's alright. Let's see here. Yeah, so I'm just going to check quickly if Justin R was live, but he is not. Again, Justin R and Storm Runner Media are the only ones that have given us permission to use their feed as of right now. So, again, I know a lot of people always ask me to bring up Brandon Kopic or Corey Gherkin or Vince Welty or Reed Timmer. We don't have permission from those guys to bring their feeds up. So. Yeah, apparently we had a flash flood emergency in Georgia today. Down in Valdosta. There is still a flood warning. But Freddie McKinney did not technically give us permission. I'm sure he wouldn't care, but he didn't technically give us permission. So for right now, we're not going to worry about that too much. Again, I am just so happy to have any chasers, so I'm not going to ruin this opportunity here. So we'll go ahead and hone in here on Colorado. So let's see, where's Storm Hunter Media at, actually? They're near Trinidad. So that is right around here. I say right around here, and I didn't even get it up yet. Okay. So this is kind of where all the storm chasers are right now. Looks like, again, likely a good chunk of snow here right now in the Trinidad area falling. In fact, we know for a fact there is. We see it on the feed. But we're expecting 15 to 30 inches of snow in total to accumulate in this area on top of what we already have. So that's pretty concerning. And again, blowing snow is also going to be a potential. So please, 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 guys, make sure you're staying safe out here. And I know you guys get this a lot, but it's quite early season for this, so hopefully everybody remembers how this all works. In parts of northwest Texas, in the Panhandle here, in northeast New Mexico, we've got some freezing rain, or some wintry mix, rather, falling here, it looks like. So, that nasty, slushy stuff. I like snow, but I don't like that. Oh, that's goofy slushiness, if that makes sense. Okay, so today's setup is more of a Blip Watch type event, and from what I see, we've got a lot of blips going, but this one kind of stands out to me. Not only does it have the highest precipitation levels already, but it's also kind of starting to develop already that classic supercell shape. Again, this is a very, very, very early stage in its life cycle, but I think we could have to look out for this down the line. This is near Robert Lee, Texas. Again, that area got hit by a strong EF3 tornado a few months ago. Should have been tornado emergency, but it was only a PDS. But that's besides the point. Again, this storm is going to push towards that direction in general, but I think for the most part it should stay off to the west. A lot of these towns I remember covering actually on that day, but Edith, Lake Evie, Spence, and Senko. Look out for this over the next several minutes. Again, right now it's just a batch of heavy rain, but we'll watch out. What do you mean, northwest movement? But yeah, I will go ahead and say as of right now, there is a blip watch, a Davis Does Weather blip watch. If you're not aware of what this means, it means that any little blip type storms here that develop in this area need to be watched because they could very quickly become strong and even severe and maybe even produce a couple of tornadoes within the first, hour, sometimes even the first 30 minutes of their life cycle. Sometimes they are just, an environment's just that crazy. Again, I don't think we have that this time around, but I'm still going to call out a blip watch here for this area. Any little supercell that even begins to show any signs of development, we need to watch. So, blip watch in effect. And again, that definitely includes San Angelo there in the blip watch. So, anyway. For anybody curious, blip watch just issued by Davis Does Weather. Okay, so here's something I can see being a problem. So this is a very normal little thunder shower here. It's not really too concerning anyways, except for the fact that it's stationary. Whenever you got a big pocket of rain like this, heavy rain falling, and it's not moving, that usually leads to some flooding problems. So we're going to watch this area quite closely. It looks like some spots here have already seen close to 1.5 inches of rain out of this near Salado, Texas. Another area that got hit by a big tornado recently. But I think we'll have to watch this if it continues to be stationary, because that could rack up those rainfall totals for sure. Alright. So again, our blip continuing to look interesting here. Again, another one trying to pop up south of it near Water Valley to watch. Things are really starting to get going here over the last couple of radar scans. Again, if we just look a few scans back, really not much is going on. I guess we did have this little supercell, but I guess we really can't call it a supercell, but you know what I mean. It's really been over the last hour or so that things have kind of started to pick up in terms of a severe weather threat here. Again, we had that random supercell near Graham, Texas this morning, but I guess it was kind of this afternoon. It was around 1:30, I think, or 2. I'm not sure. Oh, is that what you were talking about whenever you were talking about northwest movement? Yeah, it was definitely quite crazy on the radar. The Robert Lee was one that was in late May, I want to say it was. It was during an incredible stretch of severe weather that we had. I think it was early May, actually. Kind of towards the beginning of that stretch of severe weather. And it was a crazy tornado. It was on the ground for 1.5 hours. It caused significant damage. It started out moving southeast and then turned and moved northwest, because we've had a lot of drunk NATOs this year. A lot of them, to quote Max Velocity, drunk NATO. But it was pushing southeast, and we're like, oh, thank goodness it missed Robert Lee, and then it turned northwest, and then it ended up hitting the east side of Robert Lee. It kind of took that general tracking, and it was on the ground for 1.5 hours, at least, which is insane. And we were live for pretty much the whole life cycle of it. Not pretty much, we were live for the whole life cycle of it. But yeah, Robert Lee was something else. One of the more noteworthy tornadoes of the year for sure. let's see. Oh, it was bad. It was very bad. I don't know if there were any fatalities with it. I believe there were, though. Robert Lee, Texas, tornado fatalities. The first thing that happens when you search Robert Lee, Texas is Robert Lee, Texas tornado. So no major injuries or fatalities. It did flip a truck on the highway, but that was a minor injury. But again, the track of it was the most interesting thing I think I've ever seen out of a radar imagery of a tornado. Again, it was a very interesting tornado. It was a wedge at one point, and it was a cone at one point, it was a rope at one point, it was a stovepipe at one point, it was quite literally everything. Again, for an hour and a half, it was that strong. Sam, I don't know why you keep saying that. Everybody is talking about it. I said EF3, didn't I? Convective Chronicles had a video out about it. I mean, the reason nobody's talking about it at this point is because it was 6 months ago. Nobody talks about Barnsdall either anymore. But yeah, Reed Timmer described it as a monster tornado. Live Storms Media referred to it as a large tornado. Let's see here. Max Velocity referred to it as a large tornado. Well, that's actually really cool. I looked up the Robert Lee, Texas tornado. Our stream of it is like the 6th stream that pops up. That's awesome. And I think it was more interesting than anything else. So we did just get a special weather statement for the storm on the north side of DFW here for nickel-sized hail. Again, we mentioned this may get a severe thunderstorm warning. They didn't go for that, but there is a special weather statement here for Bolivar and Stony. So if you're in this area, make sure that you are moving indoors immediately. This will be traveling on the north side of Denton here very soon. Again, this is in North Texas. Okay, so again, our blip here, we mentioned this one, guys. It is starting to pop off. It's actually the southern one that we mentioned that popped off here. So, Water Valley, Texas is moving over here right now. It's nothing crazy yet. It's areas that are going to be down the line of this that need to look out. So, we're talking about areas like Lake Evie Spence, Edith, Green Mountain, this whole area. But yeah, in my opinion, I think it was pretty clear from the radar imagery and the reports that are being sent in by the chasers and the longevity of the tornado, it should have been a tornado emergency, honestly. But yeah, whenever Reed Timmer refers to it as a monster, or sorry, he called it a powerful wedge tornado, and then the thumbnail says monster tornado. So, it's about as crazy wording as you can get, really. Again, if you're not aware, a wedge is the biggest type of a tornado. Again, you got your wedge, your cone, which is the more standard one, basically a smaller wedge. There's the rope tornado, which is a very, very small tornado. There is the stovepipe, which, again, has that kind of kick at the ground there. It's, I don't know how to draw one, but it's not what it looks like at all, but I don't really know how to draw one. That's a little better, but, yeah. Beautiful day here in Northwest Illinois. Yeah, that can be said about the entire state of Illinois right now, honestly. It's been very beautiful here across the Midwest after thunderstorms rolled through. Things are clearing out, and things are being bright. Just a nice fall day, honestly, out here. Greenfield, Iowa tornado was huge. Yeah, obviously. Again, the strongest tornado of this year, most likely. Looks a bit rainy in Virginia. There's definitely a potential to see some rain in southeastern Virginia here, right up along the East Coast. No rain, but very humid and cloudy. Yeah, there's a good chance that we see some rain out there today in Virginia, and we have seen some rain today. The sun is very electrified near Denton, by the way, and it's still managing to retain here what looks to be a very tad touch of rotation. It's not like it's going to produce a tornado or anything, but this is something interesting to watch. No, 318 is crazy. Thank you, GR. Appreciate it. Watching from Arkansas. Yeah, Arkansas will not really see too much today, but I will say tomorrow could be a little more interesting for Arkansas. Still nothing crazy, though. But we may see some thunderstorms, maybe an isolated severe thunderstorm. Flooding is probably going to be the biggest problem in Arkansas. And Saturday, they don't have a marginal risk out yet, but there will be. I can almost guarantee that right now. We'll probably see a marginal risk somewhere in this area for parts of maybe Tennessee, Alabama, Missouri, Mississippi, Arkansas, Louisiana, Texas, Oklahoma, somewhere in there, really. Really could be anywhere. Again, it's still a little uncertain, which is why they haven't put the risk out at all yet, I think. But, anyway. Alright. Again, our San Angelo storm here continues to intensify. Again, that's heading up towards Robert Lee. Again, I think since we've kind of gotten the forecast out of the way here and what's going to happen today, we can probably wrap up this stream soon. Again, we will have another stream later. Do not fret. But, anyway. I can guarantee you that one, Sam. I will say that right now. If I'm wrong about that, then I will do whatever the top comment on this stream tells me to do. We will see a marginal risk on Saturday. Wow, look at the NAM presentation of Raphael. That's pretty impressive. Again, it is expected to weaken a significant amount. Probably not right after the stream, Mr. Storm, but I will be able to in a few minutes after, so if that's alright with you. But, again, this is what the NAM is showing for Saturday. Whenever you get the NAM showing this kind of outlook a few days out, you can almost kind of guarantee there will be at least a marginal risk. Again, kind of over the exact area we highlighted, too. You failed your test? That's rough. I did, too, today, if it makes you feel better in algebra. Just wanted to ask you, do you want to be a storm chaser when you grow up? A lot of people ask me that, and that sounds like a lot of fun. It does, but I think I'm more suited for this. Streaming severe weather coverage, but I will definitely do some chases when I grow up. Which is not too far from now. Again, I know I look like a 5-year-old right now with my Pikachu t-shirt, but I will be getting my permit here within the next couple months, so that's exciting. And again, it's not like the day I get my permit, I'm going to go on a mega wedge chase, but we'll see what happens. So again, Sermon Media there, zooming in on some of those snowy landscapes in Colorado. Your teacher gave you the angriest side-eye possible. It's crazy. Has Louisville, Kentucky within the next couple of days? Fine. I wouldn't really expect anything for Louisville. Maybe Saturday into Sunday, but that's still kind of iffy, honestly. You are in the general thunderstorm risk on Sunday, but you are right on the edge of it. I mean, literally, if you're on the east side of the city, you're not included in it. You're right on the cutoff line. And again, obviously the lines don't determine everything, but they do give us a good idea of what's going to happen. And if we look here, we'll look at, again, the next couple days, just some clouds, really. And then Saturday night, we can see some showers roll to the area late Saturday night, but I think it'll mostly be Sunday morning where you start to see any sort of rain. Outside of that, just very fall-like, not super cool, but it'll be interesting. There is still 5% for Texas, yes. We just had the day 3 outlook up, sorry. don't know why I'm doing this with my hand. It looks so unnatural. Yeah, we're trying to get to 25 likes this stream. So if you haven't already, make sure to like and subscribe. And it does help out the channel. It helps push this further into the algorithm so that more people can get this potentially very important coverage. Alright, our storm has broken the 60 dBz barrier. So what that means is that now this storm is showing a very noticeable uptick in intensity. We'll probably start to see this produce some hail, some wind soon. Again, we'll probably see this get a special weather statement soon. In fact, it already looks like it's got some wind there on the velocities. We'll see if that tries to develop any rotation any time soon. Again, heading towards Robert Lee, Texas. Again, this is the blip we called out, what, like 15 minutes ago? So, pretty good call out on our part there. Again, we're also trying to hit 2,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and I think that's definitely possible, but only with your guys' support. It's going to be very close, so please do make sure to do that if you haven't already. Already subbed the other day? Nice. Thank you so much. Alrighty. Are there any Mesos discussions right now? There are not. Again, we had one earlier today for a 40% chance of a watch in Texas. Never ended up really playing out. But again, this is going to be an evening time event anyways, guys. So if we do see a watch, it'll be later tonight. That's for sure. Appreciate that, Patty. Is there any storms heading to Oklahoma? So actually, yes, we've got some storms right now in Oklahoma, actually. Down further to the south, the southern part of the state, and then also up west towards the Panhandle. I think that tomorrow will probably be a slightly bigger day for thunderstorms in Oklahoma, but shouldn't be anything too crazy. The marginal risk does very technically include a very small section of Oklahoma, but it should not be anything severe, hopefully. Again, just some beneficial rainfall, really, more than anything else. No problem, GR. Alrighty. So actually, let's go back to our Denton, Texas storm. We've been watching this for a while now, and it does look pretty strong here. But I think it'll gradually die out, honestly. Found a new weather channel, new sub here. I appreciate it, Leslie. Thank you for tuning in. Again, we do this every day. Usually multiple times a day, depending on how active things are. Today will definitely be a day where we do this multiple times today. And there's a slight risk of severe thunderstorms and tornadoes across portions of western and southern Texas. So we're going to be live covering those. Will this come east and be into Nebraska? No, Nebraska will be fine. Nebraska's going to be a little too dry, if anything. Because you really didn't get a lot of rain in some parts of Nebraska during the last couple events. You're not going to get anything from this one, unfortunately, too. Shall let my tornado chaser friend to be ready, and also sub to your great channel. I mean, for today, storm chasing again would mainly be in western Texas. So if that's a possibility, then I would definitely do that. But yeah. Again, everybody, we're super close to 25 likes. If you haven't already, make sure to hit that like button. That's our goal for this stream. Again, above my head here is Storm Runner Media. Alright, so let's see. Sorry, I'm looking at something. So, this is the NATOcast outlook here for today. Very, very similar to the SPCs, honestly. They've been nailing a lot of these events recently, so it's best to take a look at this. Can take it all with a grain of salt, because it is fully AI generated. There's no human input, but 5% chance of a tornado within 25 miles of any given point in west central Texas. Basically the same exact thing as the SBC. So, no big news there. Yeah, Texas has had a lot of severe weather recently. I feel even worse, though, for folks in Oklahoma. And our supercell continues to progress as it heads towards Robert Lee, Texas. I don't know why I do stuff like this with my arm. It just feels natural. I'm going to stretch. After sitting here for 40 minutes, right after getting off of the bus and sitting on there for 40 minutes, right after sitting at school for 40 minutes last period. And I'm surprised how strong this storm is managing to stay here near Denton, considering the environment out here really isn't anything too crazy, but watch out for that. It actually did knock out some power in Wise County. 4% of customers without power there. That is almost 1,600 people. Wow. Survived a high-end EF2 as a kid. Terrifying. You know, people won't think that EF2 tornadoes sound like nothing. They are still considered strong, significant tornadoes to the Storm Prediction Center. It's not something you should take lightly, which is why we don't pre-rate. Because if we just say, oh, this is likely an EF2, an EF1 or an EF2 tornado, people don't take that seriously. But they still do cause damage, a significant amount too. And a high-end EF2, again, very serious stuff. Again, tornado emergencies start getting issued whenever we believe there's an EF3 or higher tornado on the ground in a populated area. So if that's tornado emergency criteria stuff there for EF3s, then EF2s are still very dangerous. Because remember, tornado emergencies are the highest level of weather warning that exists. So, flipped a car into a house and took the roof. Wow. Survived an EF2 once as well. Scary stuff, indeed. So, I think that's going to be it for this live stream here. We did not hit the 25 like goal. We got very close, but I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Again, this was a smaller stream, so I didn't really expect to anyway to get anywhere too crazy. But I do want to thank you all for tuning in one more time, and we will be live later for the main event whenever we'll likely have a severe thunderstorm or tornado watch get issued. But